You're tuned into Met Radio 1280 AM CJTM in Toronto. I'm Evan, and today I'll be recapping my experience at the 50th Annual Toronto International Film Festival, for which I had the privilege of seeing the documentary A Life Illuminated. With all the star-studded, masterfully directed films that premiered at TIFF this year, I can see how this gem of a documentary may have been overlooked by the younger crowd, but I for one am glad I got to see it. Directed by filmmaker Tasha Van Zandt, A Life Illuminated pays homage to the life and work of marine biologist and oceanographer Dr. Edith or Edie Widder. Dr. Widder, who has spent most of her adult life exploring the ocean depths, made headlines for devising a camera system that captured the first footage of a giant squid in its natural habitat, an impressive feat in the world of marine biology. However, her true passion, as highlighted in this film, would be studying the occurrence of bioluminescence, a phenomenon in which underwater organisms produce their own light. Throughout this documentary, we follow Dr. Widder's most recent trip to the twilight zone, an ocean depth that sunlight cannot reach, for which she partnered with nonprofit ocean exploration initiative OceanX, in the hopes of capturing bioluminescence on camera like it's never been documented before. While this film was largely centered around achieving this goal, the lens also shifts to vignettes of Dr. Widder's life, including her unique upbringing at the hands of parents who are both academics, her childhood introduction to the world of marine biology during a day at the beach where she took notice of the tide pools teeming with life, and of course her unorthodox career trajectory, at a time when marine biology was still a very male-dominated field. These intimate moments contrasted with the mesmerizing, present-day shots of Dr. Widder and her research partner deep below the ocean surface in a submersible, surrounded by still, quiet darkness, and then suddenly being greeted by the light of several dazzling specks lighting up all at once, painted an all-around vivid picture of the rich and extraordinary life that Dr. Widder has lived. As soon as I entered the theater, I saw that I was the odd one out. Most of the audience was made up of men and women in their 50s or older, excitedly talking about their admiration for Dr. Edie Widder. As for myself, I didn't know a thing about this woman or her contributions to the scientific community, but I was curious to find out. I remember the black screen once the lights in the theater had dimmed, how the sound of crashing waves gradually grew louder and louder until we were met with the visual of the sea, the waves rising and falling, our gaze sometimes bobbing just underneath the surface of the water as if being pressed up against a porthole. I knew then that I was in for a real treat. I think what initially drew me in when I was reading up on the film was the fact that, like most other nature documentaries I'd watched over the years, I knew this film would pair two things that I loved: deep-sea imagery and serene music, which promised an immersive viewing experience. But what I didn't anticipate was the humanness and honesty of this film. True that Dr. Widder has had major triumphs throughout her career, like being the first to capture footage of a giant squid in its natural habitat using a camera system of her own devising, as well as successfully bringing live deep-sea specimen back to the surface to examine. But we also see her setbacks, like when an earlier version of her deep-sea camera system failed to retrieve the data she was hoping for after she had received significant funding for the experiment. And of course, there was the constant sexism and discrimination she endured during the earlier part of her scientific career. For instance, when Dr. Widder first began doing deep-sea exploration in submersibles, male boat crews still considered it bad luck to have a woman at sea. One would think that maritime superstitions would have no place in the scientific community, but evidently Dr. Widder was a woman ahead of her time. On top of this, we observed her facing criticism for simple things like not using the same stuffy, analytical language as her older male counterparts when describing what she'd seen down in the dark depths of the sea. But as the film makes clear, this is reflective of what a different experience being down there was for her. Even after 40 years of doing deep-sea exploration, to see Dr. Widder's eyes light up alongside the plankton and jellyfish and other bioluminescent organisms she encountered, as if she was seeing all this for the first time, is what brought out the magic for me. To see everything framed through her lens, one of respect and wonder rather than just scientific observation. Overall, I think the film really succeeds in making its audience marvel at the secret aquatic world that exists below the reach of sunlight, and much of this wonder stems from how it weaves in Dr. Widder's story. Her resilience, her hard-earned place in the field, and her enduring sense of wonder, all paired with the visuals of the deep sea itself. This is definitely a viewing experience I will take with me. If you want to stay updated on future TIFF programming, be sure to visit their website at tiff.net/calendar. For Met Radio 1280 AM CJTM in Toronto, I'm Evan Zeller, and thanks for joining me today.